Hi there, this time something a little bit different on my channel. The last couple of days I was inclined to look into a couple of miniature games, foremost some miniature skirmish games, so with not that huge amount of actual miniatures, so something around, I don't know, 5 to 10 miniatures per side. And yeah, because of that I figured I could build a little bit of terrain for those particular games. And then I thought, well, I could share a small little video with you. And one of those games is actually Ronin by Osprey. And it's a, well, more or less historical skirmish war game, as it is called in the Age of the Samurai. So it tries to be relatively realistic and not really in any way fantasy or something like that. And for that I wanted to use the miniatures I have from the Rising Sun board game, along those lines, at least some that are more or less normal looking. Sure, that guy, focus please, looks more like, I don't know, ogre or something, but still quite humanoid, so should work out. But as for demonstration purposes, I figured painted miniatures still look a lot better. Because of that I placed some miniatures from the Privateer Press game Hordes on the table. As you can see here, my Scorn, that also rock the more or less Japanese samurai feel with the banners and all that. And yeah, the standard paint scheme is also red, gold and black, so that goes well with the shrine I had built. That miniature in here is also a monster miniature from Rising Sun, and I figured that's the best way to actually use a unpainted miniature that is luckily in this case gray, so perfect for a statue. And yeah, then I also have a couple of Legion of Everblight here that in this scenario look to attack this Shrine of the Scorn or whatever. But yeah, I figured it looks quite nice. Sure, actual miniature terrain that is built and painted fits more, looks more realistic and can be really cool. But first, I don't really have that at home. I always play it in stores and clubs, and they had various terrain there that everybody could use, and that was nice. But I'm not that big on actually building that terrain. I like to paint miniatures, that's fun. But yeah, terrain isn't really my forte, although with styrofoam and stuff you can do a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, once again, I really don't like painting huge amounts of scenery, even though the techniques for that are reasonably easy and lead to good results. Still, I decided, hey, let's just take some parts and build a little bit of terrain. So I started with this rock structure here and some green stuff on top. Nothing too special, and I do realize that there are cool rock formation techniques to actually use for Lego. But first of all, I don't really have the pieces for that, and also not the amount of pieces, especially for this hill here. So obviously I just used this plastic thingy here that's usually used for castles and stuff. And yeah, I just used that and obviously it does not look as good as some really nice structured rock formation that you can do with Lego, but it serves the purpose, I think. So because of that, it works out quite well, and it's actually quite nice to play on it. There's still enough of space, and actually I didn't want to put too many details in here, so that there is still place to move around with the miniature. Because usually those games are played with a tape measure, and yeah, so still movement is necessary, except if you maybe play Infinity, then you really need lots of terrain, but that's not really fitting for this. So again, I want to try out this Ronin game. I played it a couple of years ago with a friend. This is actually his copy. I still have it. And the other game I wanted to try out also in a, let's say, Japanese-inspired scenario is Bushido, which has a lot more fantasy aspects to it though. But the rules seem really interesting and intricate, and as you can download those rules for free as well as the cards to try out the game, I figured that's a good idea to try it out. And sadly, there aren't really that many players in Germany, I think, all around, and in my backyard, let's say. But if it's a good game and the rules are solid, just playing a couple of games should still be quite fun and interesting. As for the other project with Mobile Frame Zero, which is a game actually building mechs in Lego, this terrain does not work as well, I think, because you need smaller, more destructible terrain. But I figure, well, that's still a viable thing later on. But right now I'm into skirmish games with miniatures, so yeah. I think I will also build some more terrain features. This board still has a couple of blank spaces that can be filled with something interesting, but that's what I came up with yesterday, and I'm quite fine. I'm quite happy with this shrine. Also, this structure, building that structure here, and this smooth surface, it's actually quite fun and in a way meditative, and has a lot of Zen feel to it. So it's really actually quite nice. Yeah, so much for that. I hope you liked it, and if you have similar interests, I would encourage you to try it out yourself. So maybe there will be an update later on that. Yeah, so much for that. Bye.